Hey Looky Loos, it's Ashley Quinn, and I'm here to review Love After Lockup, Love During Lockup, Season 3, Episode 62, Secret Stash. So before we pick up where we left off, go ahead and hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you like the content that you've been receiving so far. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to pick up where we left off with Harry and Indy. So as we can see, Indy's mom is still not having it. And do you blame her? I mean, really, dude? Like, come on, girl. This is really, really crazy. So her mom takes her outside to talk to her, maybe to try to help her calm down, because at this point she's having a full-on meltdown, right? So her mom lets her know that, hey, you're lucky that you have a family that actually cares about you, that wants to look out for you to make sure that you're safe. And so her mom also lets her know that, hey, I'm about to run a full PI check on him, and if you don't have good enough sense not to go to Ohio, then I'm coming with you. Because, like, she really is looking out for her granddaughter. Like, you don't know this man, you don't know what he's done. He's also very, very young. Like, I think right now he's 23. He's been in already for 4 years, so he went when he was 19, which means he basically still has the mindset of a 19-year-old, right? So as their scenes progress or whatever, we see it split kind of into two with them. So what we have is we have Indy on the phone with Harry, and we have Indy's mom with her partner Damien. So Moms and her partner Damien, they proceed to start pulling up Harry's record, right? And so the things that they find out about Harry are very alarming. He's been arrested for, I believe it was aggravated robbery as well as kidnapping. And he's already been in for 4 years and he still has some time to go. So they're looking at his file, and Mom, she's like, oh my God, he's a kidnapper. You know, I don't really trust him around my granddaughter. She doesn't know this man. And, you know, rightfully so. These are some very, very serious charges. But I think, like, what they're failing to mention is that I believe, like, during the commission of a robbery, like, if you're telling somebody to move from point A to point B, like if I'm at the desk and you tell me to go to the safe and open the safe, technically that's kidnapping, because you're moving me and holding me against my will. Normally I wouldn't have done that. That wouldn't have been something that I was interested in, but you're making me do that. So that is a form of kidnapping technically, right? But Harry's not out here snatching little kids off the street. That's not his forte yet that we know about. Who knows? Anyway, but Mom's is right to be concerned, because like I said, Harry is in jail for aggravated robbery, which means he's definitely robbing people with deadly weapons. And yeah, no one really wants their child, especially in their grandchild, in that situation. Also, like, so she's just gonna up and move with the little one and just leave the older kid back in, I think, Baltimore or somewhere, wherever they live. I'm like, dang, that's kind of crazy, like, to run after a man. Like, just let him get settled in, let him do what he needs to do first, and then you guys, like, she still has never even met this man face to face, okay? So what's the rush, girl? Like, what kind of job do you have that you can just up and move? Like, is she working from home? God, I wonder if she works from home. But anyway, like, it's just a lot of things, and it seems like she was already, regardless of what Anira said. And speaking of what Anira said, like, when you really go back and listen, she didn't say Harry was getting out in 4 weeks. She said something more to the effect of, I see him getting released early, about 4 weeks, as in he may be getting a month off of his sentence. So who knows what's going on there, but she heard what she wanted to hear. Yeah, so Mom's is really concerned about that. So meanwhile, we flash back to Indy on the phone with Harry. Now she's just a packing. I'm like, girl, oh, anyway. So she's ready to go. She's ready to move. And she's asking him, hey, you know, should I do this? You know, what do you think? Should I move to Ohio? Do you want me to move to Ohio? Like, she's really looking for validation for him to be like, yes, baby, come on down. I want to see you. And his answer is basically, hey, you should do what's best for you, or you got to do what you got to do for yourself, or, you know, do what you think is best. Like, he's not really giving her a straight answer. And this is one of those situations where no answer is your answer, right? Harry don't want to be responsible for that, right? Harry does not want to have to bear the responsibility, like, when this goes left, because trust me, this is going to go left. I think we all know this is going to go left. Y'all saw that. We've all been seeing this, right? So she's just like packing and asking him this, and he has not given her a straight answer, and she has not taken that no answer the way that somebody of her years should be able to take that answer. Like, she's still steady packing, and I truly believe that she is still going to head out there. Now, another thing her mom brought up was the money situation, because her mom is telling her, like, look, I know these guys, I know how they do, I know how they get down, and they will work you for money. So her mom's like, so how much money have you given him so far? And Indy's like, oh, I don't know. And her mom's like, girl, you cheap with your money. You know exactly how much you've given him. So it turns out that Indy has been giving this man at least $100 a week, like $400 a month, which is just absolutely crazy when you have like a small child and an even older child that you could be doing like so many other things for. It's like you're paying for affection or you're paying for attention, but you're not even really getting it because this person is so distant from you. And yeah, it's just really, yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. So next up, we actually get to meet our new couple, and I believe they are Santiba and Talzi. So we're meeting Santiba for the first time, and we see that she's at the beach or at like some stairs, like kind of like a natural outdoor workout kind of place with her friend. And she lets us know that she's been divorced and that it wasn't a great divorce, and that after the divorce, the dating scene wasn't really treating her that great. And so she was at home watching television one night, and she saw like some show and some murderer actually had a wife, and how did they meet, and talking about a prisoner website. And so that gave her the great idea to go ahead and go on a prisoner website where she met Talzi. Now Talzi, right? Has been in jail for 6.5 years. He's in a max security facility, and he's in there for drugs and guns, and having that gun on him when he was already a felon. So I'm kind of hearing career criminal here. Anyway, she went on the prison website. She met him there, and she's very excited. We find out that they've never seen each other physically in person, and she's really looking forward to it. So like I said, we don't really get too much about this couple. It's really just a brief introduction, but we do kind of hear him saying that she normalized his life, and that, you know, she's making his life better and he's a better person or whatever. And I'm like, bro, but you're still in jail. You don't know what kind of person you're going to be when you get out. But okay, so like I said, we just meet them briefly, and we get, like I said, an introduction to them. But I really do like Santiba. I like her name. I wonder what the origins of that are. But she seems really cool, and I just hope that she can make it through this situation or out of this situation unscathed. You know, yeah, she just seems really innocent, really naive, and I just hope she doesn't get taken advantage of, like our next couple that we're talking about. And let's bring them to the forefront. We have Haley and Dalton. So when we first pick up with Haley, she's taking her son Hendrix to the park to meet his dad, and basically to kind of fill the dad in on what's going on as far as her relationship or whatever. It starts off because he asks her, you know, what are you doing tonight? And she's like, oh, tonight's date night for me and Dalton. And I'm like, yo, it's not a date, like it's a phone call, but okay, it's date night for them. We find out that her and her child's father were together for a while, and then I think like 2 years after Hendrix was born, she found out that he cheated on her with a friend, and it's just like, ew. But yeah, it's just so yeah, God, right? So even through that, though, they seem to have a really good co-parenting relationship, right? And her son's father, he really expresses his concerns, and rightfully so. He lets us know that growing up, that he had to go visit his dad in jail, and that's not what he wants for his son, and that's why he took extra care to make sure that he didn't end up on this road, and he definitely does not want his son going to jail to visit some other man that's not even his dad. He was very serious about that, and so I really hope he sticks to his guns, because I commend him for that. Even though whatever he did to her in the past was really like fucked up or whatever, he's not playing about his kid. And I think as we get closer to maybe the time where he's going to be released, that we may see a little more friction between Haley and her child's father. But I do want to say, I think that he's completely right. I wouldn't want my child around some random felon that you know from middle school. Anyway, so as we proceed to go through this, we find out that they're having a date night, right? And so like initially I'm thinking, wow, okay, is it like one of those, I don't know, like, I know it's not FaceTime, but I don't know, like that gel like FaceTime situation. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, you see the people, they do it sometimes, but yeah, Max was supposed to do it, but it never ended up happening for him, right? So we see her getting ready, and so she's cooking this. She said it was a steak, right? Like that meat, it was like thick and tough and leathery, and I didn't see any seasoning out. I didn't see any butter out. I didn't see any onions out. I didn't see anything. Like, she just like put that meat in that pan and just let it go. It was like a steak brick, or like a brick of steak, and the mashed potato. Anyway, that's their dinner. So what they do on date night is she cooks things that he likes to eat, and then when he calls, she talks about the food, and tells him how good it tastes and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, that would like really make me upset. Like, if I can't eat the food, like, I don't want to hear about you eating it. But that's their little date night routine, and like she's super dressed up, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, this girl hit her head in the accident or something? Like, it's something. It seems like the elevator's not like going to the top floor, right? Like, she said the accident was really bad and she was in the hospital like for a long time. And like I said, like, did you like take a bump to the head? Because you don't really think things through, girl. Like, we could tell. However, she has made one really good decision as far as her settlement money is concerned. She's gonna buy a house. She's gonna take $30,000 of the money and put it down on a house for her and Dalton. And I'm just like, girl, just make sure that you keep that house in your name. And yeah, because Dalton, I can't put my finger on it. Something's not right about that boy, right? Because then we get to the next part of the story where Haley decides that she's going to take it upon herself to go meet Dalton's dad. Now, even under regular circumstances, that's weird. If somebody wants you to meet their parents, they will definitely introduce you to their parents. But Dalton doesn't even talk to his dad, right? He says his dad has not been a consistent or a major part of his life for a long time, right? So he doesn't talk to his dad. Why are you going to talk to him? And you can tell that that kind of rubs Dalton the wrong way, but we'll see where that goes on the next one. So let's go ahead and let's move on and let's talk about Tay and Hottie. So we pick up with Tay, and she's at work. And I think last week I said that she was 32. She's actually 37, so forgive me for that. She's at work, and we actually get to see her in action as a mortician, right? They have an elderly lady that was brought in, and she's really very caring with her. Like, I really like that part of seeing her at work and her working with the basically the bodies or the vessels. And she was so sweet, and you know, to the old lady, you can tell she's very, very gentle. And then her phone starts ringing, right? And her boss is just like, yo, you already scrubbed up. Don't contaminate anything. You really need to take that call. Da, da, da. She's like, no, I don't need to take it. And the reason why she doesn't need to take it is because the girl from last week, Boston, is still basically playing on her phone, right? So after a while, she decides to take a break because I guess Hottie is calling. So she gets on the phone with Hottie, and she lets him know that, hey, this girl's still playing on my phone, and he's still acting like he has no idea what's going on. And, you know, she's saying she doesn't really want to have to cut him loose, but if she, you know, that's why she has a whole roster, because she will if she has to, you know. She also takes us back to growing up, and she talks to us about her mom and her mom's battle with schizophrenia and how it really shaped her life. And because her mom was afraid to really do anything, her mom was basically scared to go outside and really just scared to live a full life because she didn't want to die. And so that really affected Tay, and that's kind of why she said she got in the mortuary, because she wanted to confront death head on, and she didn't want to have to feel afraid of death. And so our girl is working with a lot of major, like, internal issues, probably a lot of internal trauma that I think she really, if she took care of that, like, I think she would really be okay. Like, she doesn't need this whole roster of prisoners. And that's kind of where we leave off with her. Like, no major new developments. We see her at the end, she's kind of in the tub, and she's basically looking around to see if she's going to be recruiting any more members to her team. And like I said, that's where we leave off with Tay and Hottie. So next up, which couple are we going to go with next? Let's go ahead and go with Max and Tara. So we see Max coming home from wherever he's coming home from, and we are surprised to see that there is a lovely young lady in the kitchen by the name of Alessa. Now, who is Alessa, you might ask, right? Because I thought it was like the Max and Tara segment, right? So turns out he met Alessa on Tinder, and ever since they first met, they super connected, and they've been best friends ever since. And by best friends, that means that they make OnlyFans content together, and they sell it. She also lives with him, and they sleep in the same bed. But they're not in a relationship or anything, right? You can tell that Alessa definitely wants to be in a relationship with Max, but Max is not really, I don't know what Max deal is. Even the producers asked him, well, you guys, if you're not in a relationship and, you know, it's just work, then why do you guys sleep in the same bed? And he says, because I don't have room for 2 beds in here, right? Okay, Max. So anyway, it just seems like maybe they just have like some kind of open relationship that doesn't have a title. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all of that trying to figure it out. But she does seem very, as they're laying in bed, she does seem very bothered by the fact that he's interested in these women in prison, whereas she's right here available for him. So we'll see where that goes. And I wonder if Tara knows about Alessa and what she would think of that. And yeah, it's just a lot going on with Max. And then that kind of got me to thinking, like, is he talking to all of these women in prison? A, not just because he needs to know where his woman is at all times, but B, is he thinking like maybe he can get like some new fans or some new subscribers to his OnlyFans page? Who knows? Anyway, that's pretty much all there is about them. I mean, it was kind of a lot, you know, a whole nother woman living at his house, but the segment on them was very, very brief. Next up, we have Gabby and Chris. So we have Gabby showing up to her mom's house. She is going to pick up her mom because today she is going wedding dress shopping, right? And where is she getting all of this money, you say? She's definitely getting it from Chris's settlement that he received when he was beaten by the guards, right? So she goes to her mom's house, and her mom is basically like, I'm not going anywhere with you, right? This is stupid. Are you stupid or are you dumb, right? That's what her mom basically asked her. And it really upset her because she's trying to explain to her mom that she got a letter from Chris, and she's very sad and she's very upset because Chris is in the shoe, and mom is like, what the he's in a shoe, like the old lady in a shoe. Mom don't have no idea what this prison talk is, right? Basically, Chris sends her a letter from he's in solitary confinement, and that's all that he can do is basically send letters. And for whatever reason, Gabby is taking this like to the extreme, as if she's in solitary confinement and she can only send letters, right? So she's like being a real ass to her mom. Then she really got to talking real spicy to her mom. Like, she told her mom to like kiss her ass, and you know, but like in the first episode, like I heard her say some crazy shit to her mom, right? And I just said, oh, well, maybe they just playing, even though, like, I don't know. I don't play like that. At my big age, I still don't play like that with my mom. But, you know, different people have different relationships. But today, like, it was real crazy. And she was talking real spicy to her mom. And I literally, when she told her mom to kiss her ass, like, I ducked because I was thinking her mom was going to throw something at me, too, for even sitting here watching her talk to her like that, you know? So Gabby decides to move on with her day. She goes down to the dress shop and she meets up with 3 of her friends. And her friends are Ava, Abby, and Gabby, right? That was such a cute little trio of names. So they're kind of skeptical about Gabby's relationship with Chris, you know, just like everybody else with good sense. They're like, you don't really know this man. Where are you getting this money from? Whatever. So she's just kind of like trying to rest assured, oh, girl, it's fine, whatever. It's cool. They're drinking champagne. And so she proceeds to start trying on dresses. Now, the first dress she comes out in, you know, like her friend said, it looked like somebody just kind of rolled, looked like a prom dress, somebody kind of rolled it around in glitter. And she wanted to know how much the dress was. She was like, well, this could be my second dress or my dress for the reception, blah, blah, blah. And the lady's like, the dress is $15,000. $15,000? Like, I understand dresses, like, wedding dresses can cost upwards, you know, of $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $100,000. I completely get that, right? However, like, we all saw the same dress, right? Y'all saw that, right? That dress did not look like $15,000 worth of dress, and it really didn't flatter her. Now, the second dress she came out in was absolutely gorgeous. The mermaid fit, the long gloves that almost looked like, you know, those like off-the-shoulder sleeves, but they were actually gloves. fit her perfectly, right? So she's standing up, she's looking at the dress. Turns out now that dress, I believe the lady said, was $25,000 or $30,000. Either way, altogether it's like $45,000 or $40,000 worth of dresses, right? And she's like, oh, no problem. Now I can do math, and I'm sure you guys can do math as well. If if Chris had $150,000 and Gabby took $60,000, how much money does Chris have left? We're down to $90,000. So out of that $90,000, you're telling me you want to spend half of that money on dresses? What about the venue? What about the entertainment? What about transportation? What about a honeymoon? And it's $150,000. Like, it sounds like a lot of money, but that's not going to really go very far. And so then she brought up the secret stash, right? Which made me in my mind say, I knew it. I knew it all along. I knew it. Okay, here's my theory, right? It's just a theory. I don't know these people. This is all, it's not even allegedly, right? This is just a theory, right? Chris is still selling drugs, right? And advertently or inadvertently, Gabby is helping him, right? Whether it's to launder the money or to move the money or whatever. And it really kind of clicked for me that I think they up to something. They really are up to something, because when she got on the phone with that lawyer didn't want no parts of that conversation on tape. No parts at all, right? Like, he was just like, yeah, okay. Yep. Okay. Well, nope. Can't do that. And Gabby is such an idiot, right? Like, ma'am, you don't understand that he can't just give you money. You're not this man's wife. You're not on the account. Yeah, true. Anytime you ask for something, Chris says yes, and it's all good. However, Chris didn't say yes this time. Chris didn't say anything. So it's not that you can't have the money. It's that you can't have the money right now. And that lawyer is so much better than me, because I would have cussed her out and hung up the phone and then told Chris, don't give her anything ever, right? He's Chris's attorney. He's looking out for Chris's best interest. And in your mind, so you done built it all up, and you feel like you done built all of this up in front of your homegirls, and all you had to go out there and let them know is like, hey, he's in solitary confinement. He actually has to say yes to the money, which he can't do right now, so we're just going to come back for the dress, blah, blah, blah. But no, she has to act a fool and still not leave with the dress, or still not even be able to give a down payment on the dress. So, like I'm saying, I'm just really keeping my eye on them, because I want to know what they really have going on. And especially when she had the nerve to ask that lawyer for $20,000. Like, ma'am, I don't think you can ask for anything over $9,999.99 in cash without actually having proof of income, or proof of where you got that money from. You can't just show up with $10,000 or more cash dollars, like, oh, here, take this. Yeah, it's giving Teresa Giudice. Remember Real Housewives in New Jersey, that first season, when she wanted to show off and pay for all that stuff? I think she paid for $100,000 worth of furniture in cash. The IRS stays watching these reality shows, because they know that y'all ain't got good enough sense, that you want to be seen so bad that you're bound to slip up, right? So that's why they're watching. Anyway, that's my take on what happened this week. We'll have to tune in next week. This week there were no real major developments that were, for me. Only thing that really kind of stood up was the fact that Max actually lives with another woman. But other than that, this episode was okay. Hopefully next week they can go ahead and bring that fire back like they brought us in episode 1, because that's what really got me hooked. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for sitting through my recap, my review, my thoughts, my humble opinions. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you have your own thoughts or opinions about the episode tonight, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and we can continue this conversation. My name is Ashley Quinn. Thanks a lot, Looky Loos, for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.